Blessings in abundance, blessings in abundance, blessings in abundance. How are you doing on today? My name is Jason Miller, and I want to ask you one question today. Do you know about the diamonds of Gokonda? Have you ever heard that story? That's a very interesting story. And as I was reading today, going through my meditation, it came to me how interesting the story of the diamonds of Gokonda relate to today in modern day society. Now, if you know about anything at the diamonds of Gokonda, that was the biggest diamond mine ever found in the history of the world. Like monarchs all across the world, those diamonds out of that field, they crowned jewels across monarchs all across the world. Literally, I mean, Russia, Europe, all across the world. And the story behind that is so interesting. And I want to take the time to share a little bit about that, if it's okay with you. The fundamental thing I want to help you to understand and help you to ask you for, please, if you find value in this content, please like, subscribe, and share it with a family member. I know I've had times before where I've had explicit content. I'll make sure this one is all PG-13. I promise you, and I give you my word on that already. And I apologize about, the explicit nature sometimes I tend to share because I believe it's important to be authentic and transparent. With that being said, as I continue about the diamonds of Gokonda, I want you to understand this started with the story of diamonds. So there's this guy who had a farm, and while he was on his farm, he heard about, diamonds being found across the world. This is back in the day. And at the time while he heard about it, he was wondering, man, where could I find these diamonds? And he was obsessing and just thinking about it. He had his farm now. He didn't know where to look. So he asked the local priest, hey, where can I find diamonds? So the priest told him, you got to find, somewhere where it's a brook and the white sand on the shores, and you'll be able to find diamonds. He said, I can't find that anywhere. He said, well, go, you got to find it. So this guy literally sold his farm, entrusted his family to, the neighbors, and literally just went off with his wealth, didn't find gold, trying to find diamonds. Now, he went all over the place, Europe, traveled all over. And the sad thing about it is sometimes in the quest of following, looking for the bag or the diamond, what happened with him was he wound up dying. And he died on the shores of Spain. A tide came in, and he was old, he was broke, he didn't have no more money, he didn't find no diamonds at that point in time. And by then he just died. The tide came in on a tidal wave, and he fell in. He never made it. This is a true story. He really never made it. He died. Now, the reason why the diamonds of Gokonda are so different or so special or the story so interesting with today to me is simple. What happened is the person who purchased his farm from him, right? Just a short days, couple of days after he purchased the farm, he was walking in the back with his donkey, and he put his donkey in the river to drink some water, and he saw this big shiny black rock. It was just shiny, so he picked it up. He thought it looked impressive, and he just took it and put it on the mantle inside his fireplace. Now, about a week or two went by, and this is after he had sold the farm. So this is while he's out doing his own thing, trying to search for diamonds now. The guy who bought his farm just went in his backyard down to the brook and found this big shiny rock. And he just thought it was pretty, and he put it up in his mantle. So about 2 weeks later, the priest came by, the same priest who told, the first guy, hey, this is where you find it. Says, whoa, he stopped by and said, hey, did the first guy come? Did he find it? He's like, no, he's not here. A, B, he's not back. This is my farm. I bought this. I own this. And see, that's not a diamond. We found that's just a shiny rock in a brook we found out back. And the priest was like, no, trust me. I know a diamond when I see one. And what happened? He actually went there. They took the time to go to the brook and just kind of stirred up the water. And literally, they found diamonds like sand on the shores. And it was crazy. Just below the sand were just diamonds galore. Beautiful diamonds, bigger diamonds. And that's one of the reasons why the diamonds of Gokonda are so important on this story. And this is a real story, so you can Google it. So literally acres of diamonds. Now, the concept of the process behind it is that, if the first guy just took the time to look in his own backyard, he would find that he had acres of diamonds himself. But because he was so focused on listening to everybody else, trying to follow, I got to go right there, going to go find a diamond, he lost a diamond that was in his own backyard himself. And that's the sad thing about it. And that's so interesting as well. why I wanted to share this story is like, while you're working right now to protect yourself, or while you're working right now, what would happen to you, if you died unexpectedly? What would happen to your family? Have you taken the time to think about that? The next story I want to tell you as it relates to, the diamonds of Gokonda and what that means to you, or what it means in general, is, as a client that, we're sitting down with husband and wife, and, halfway in the policy, we're getting ready to finalize, and she said, she didn't want to do it anymore because, they had upcoming bills. And this is a story based on a true story. And what happened is, about 2 to 3 weeks later, the husband wound up getting diagnosed with cancer. 3 months later, he died. Now, what happened is they just delayed getting the policy because she said they had upcoming bills. This was a $500,000 policy that was being put together for the family, but because she didn't want to do it at the time, she wanted to wait. She didn't anticipate unexpected things happening. Now, in that happening, what took place was her husband wound up getting cancer and passing away. They wound up losing the house, mortgage, car got repoed, etc., etc. And what's the point I'm making? You're right in your field of diamonds right now. Your life is your field of diamonds. If you lose your life, you have nothing. If you lose your health, you have nothing. So many people I see, it's like the 5 kinds of people, right? There's the people who know about this kind of stuff and they use it for themselves and they don't tell anybody. They're the people who have money, so they feel like, okay, I shouldn't need this, so I am better than you, so you shouldn't talk to me about life insurance because I don't need it. Then there's the people who have it on their jobs, and the people on their jobs feel like because I have benefits in my job, I don't need to talk to you about life insurance because it's not important. There are people like me who take the time out to share the information because I understand the value of it. So I want as many people to learn as possible to help to save and serve as many families as possible. And then there's the last kind, the minorities, the people who look like me and the people who are the minorities who are often underserved and overlooked. Don't know about this information, don't understand it, and they're not sure what to do with this information. And that's why we take the time, and I'm taking the time to share this information, because I understand that the field of diamonds, which is our lives, we have been misled to believe that it's not. Understand. The Bible says a wise man leaves behind an inheritance for his children's children. Think about the diamonds of Gokonda, your own buried acres of diamond. What is your life worth? Your car has insurance to replace your car. Your house has insurance in case it burns down, especially if you have a mortgage. Your iPhone got insurance in case your iPhone gets broken. Why won't you have insurance for your life? And why is it so important that it's not important, so you should leave your family with not only your debts, but also leave them to do GoFundMe after that? That makes no sense to me. I encourage you to learn about the one I'm talking about. You see, I represent a financial marketing organization. I am a recruiter for a financial marketing organization. And we recruit and we help people to get licensed in this industry. I want you to understand this is the #1 industry in the world. This is not a hype slogan. If you go to google.com and you Google right now what industry creates the most millionaires, it will show you financial services and life insurance. Now, as a financial services marketing organization and as a recruiter for it, I'm showing one of the products that is offered with the new kinds of life insurance, because people, we are the diamonds. Kanye said that instead of sending flowers, we are the roses. We are the diamonds. We shine brightest for our family. We go through the pressure in our lives to come out polished on the other side. And that's why our lives need to be worth it and our lives need to be protected, because if Black Lives Matters, Black lives will be insured. And if Black lives are insured, Black lives will not be murdered in the streets. So please, help me help my community. Help me help our community. Help me help the next Black family that gets shot in the streets, so that they don't go unprotected. So if unfortunately that unexpected situation happens, guess what? Your family will not need a GoFundMe. Your family will not need everybody rioting in the streets. Your family will be able to have generational protection legacy set aside. God forbid you die too soon. God forbid you live too long, God forbid, you get ill. These are the three primary things that people worry about. If you die too soon, what happens to your family? If you get ill, you get something terminal illness, what happens to your family with those expenses? And if you live too long and you outlive your money, what happens to your quality of life if you have to go back to work and do something else? You see the people at Walmart bagging bags. You see the people at Publix. It's not happening now. It's been happening for years. It's like a common thing now. So don't act like it's new. We've been seeing it. It's like we've been adapting to it already. And that's what's so shocking about it to me. Is that we're adapting to the changes and not paying attention to how it's impacting our lives, which is so ironic. The next thing I want to talk about, really, as I said, this is one of the carriers, and this carrier is talking about living benefits. And with living benefits, I just want to point out a couple of facts. I'm just going to read the facts. I'm not going to go through the full illustration. I'm just going to read some of the facts and the numbers to you here, okay? 50% of American adults have life insurance, okay? 52% of American adults. 39% of Americans wish they had purchased their life insurance earlier. Because why buy now versus later? When you buy now, you get to lock in the rate. When you buy now, especially if you're younger, it's still really cheaper than if you were older, all right? Now, also, 42% of families will face financial hardship within 6 months of an event of death of somebody who earned a wage. So again, 42% of Americans, if somebody in your family dies that is a top earner, within 6 months, you'll be facing a dire situation. And that's kind of what happened in the situation that I told you previously with the client that decided that they did not want to take the policy at the time because they were more focused on the bills that were coming up. And in focusing on the bills, his health took a turn. And with that $500,000 policy in that situation, because he got ill, what would happen is that coverage would have kicked in and it would have paid him up to 80% of that policy. So he might have had access to up to $400,000 for him and his family. But he didn't. And they weren't able to because they chose not to. So listen, everybody has a right to choose. That's your fundamental, that's your God-given right. But while you're choosing to go for the bag, you're choosing to buy the Louis bag, you're choosing to buy the Jordans for your kids, instead of paying for the Jordans, pay for a life insurance policy. Instead of buying all the bag and the iPhones and everything else, make sure your family's covered. Make sure you have a living benefit set aside for your family. Make sure you have an index universal. But guess what? I'm just talking about living benefits right now. And as I said, the 3 areas I talked about, in case you become ill, in case you die too soon, or in case that you outlive your money. All right? Now, in the case of you dying too soon, keeping your legacy protected and what matters most to you. In the case of you becoming ill, providing financial resources in the event of qualifying health emergencies. And in the case of you living too long, creating a potential secure financial retirement so you can have income into your retirement. Because you have to understand, God forbid you die too soon. You want to ensure that you have something that is set up to protect your family. And that's the importance of this. Because 50% of American households right now who have 2 income streams, the average income stream is about $61,000 to $65,000. 50% of American overestimate the cost of insurance pretty much. I mean, 1 in 4 Americans right now, every 1 in 4, as I talk about, of those 4 people, every one of those 4, one of the 4 that are the people who have a job insurance and don't think they need insurance coverage, so they don't take insurance, so they don't think they should talk to you. But guess what? How many companies are laying off right now because of unemployment? Not because of unemployment, but because of AI technology. No, but not because of AI technology, because of inflation. Well, not because of inflation, but because of COVID. No, but not because of COVID, because, do you understand what I'm saying? So these things are happening right now in real time. It's impacting our lives. And if we don't pay attention to it, we will be the ones left aside and left out of the process in that same span of time. But again, what happens to you if you become ill? Like we talked about. You see, what you have to understand is living benefits kick in if you become ill. Up to 80% of the policy can be afforded to you. What can it be taken care of? Things like household expenses, adult daycare, home modifications if you need home modifications, regular bills, and of course, our home assisted living. Because again, 39% of Americans get diagnosed with a cancer in their lifetime. 39% of Americans get diagnosed with cancer within their lifetime, and 45% of Americans carrying around medical debt. So if you're in a situation where you're a person and you have a pre-existing condition in your family and you do not have coverage, you are leaving your family at stake, regardless of how pretty you look and how much you got the bag. Because it don't matter what you look on like that on the outside. If you're inside, you got some cancer in your blood in your family, it don't matter what you're pushing. If you ain't got something to cover yourself at the back end, you won't have no cushion. Because guess what? That car will not be able to take care of your long-term care, okay? I'll let you know that. All that ice and everything, all that drip, drip, it will not take care of shit, okay? Please understand that. And I'm trying to be honest with you guys because we all like that drip. But guess what? Without that family foundation being protected, we won't have. Exactly. I won't get into that because you guys understand exactly what I mean. But what are some of the things that it covers for you to understand some of the things that our living benefits cover? Okay, you're talking about terminal illness, talking about chronic illness. What kind of chronic illness? If you can't provide 6 of the basic functions. What basic functions? 2 of the 6 basic functions, okay? So if within 30 days span you can't provide to do 2 of the 6 basic functions, this is when a living benefits policy kicked in. And you're talking about bathing, continence, dressing, eating, toiling, or transferring. If you can't do 2 of those 6 things in an entire 30-day process based on whatever diagnosis you have, this is when you're not able to qualify for your benefits because life happens. And if life starts to happen to you, we're not going to wait until it piles up. As a matter of fact, you have access to it to be able to make your life easier at that point in time. Talk about Alzheimer's. How many people know someone who's dealing with somebody who has Alzheimer's? That by itself is a disease. It's something that's crippling to a family. And it's something that's hard to see and witness. But again, there's coverage and protection for families to deal with if you have somebody in your family that's Alzheimer's. You talk about critical illness. What kind of critical illness? ALS, blindness, cancer, and end-stage renal failure, heart attack, heart valve replacement, major organ replacement, neural disease, pneumotor disease, stroke, sudden cardiac arrest. I mean, you have to understand these things are part of life. And these things are, especially if you have a pre-existing condition in your family. Crucial illness, critical illness. What kind of critical illness can happen in life? I don't know. Coma, paralysis, severe burns, maybe traumatic brain injury, because these things happen as a part of life. But to know that you have coverage that can take care of you and your family in that process, if something does happen, that is what I'm talking about. And that's what I want you to understand. These are some of the benefits that are available to you as a part of these new life insurance benefits. So what I want to do is just impress upon you that, listen, you need to pay attention to your own diamonds, okay, your own acres of diamonds, because that's where they are. Because again, if you happen to live too long in these times and you outlive your money, what does this kind of policy does for you if you live too long? Okay, you talk about you're able to then what? Pay off your debt. You're able to what? Housing expenses, long-term care, regular bills, and vacation. Are you serious? You mean you can vacation and travel with your life insurance if you live too long? So hold on. You tell me, if I want to live in too long and I outlive my money, my life insurance policy is going to make sure that I got money to pay off my debts, take care of my house, take care long term if I need any caregivers coming to my house, all my other regular bills, and vacation and travel around the world? Listen. Listen to yourself and pay attention to your very own diamonds of Gokonda, okay? My name is Jason Mill, and that's my time. I want to invite you to learn more about the #1 industry in the world, the financial services industry. I want to invite you to come out to learn how you can serve families. You see, this information that I'm just sharing with you, information that's changing my life, and I want to help it to use help you to use it to change yours as well, because this information is not new. It's new to me. And because it's new to me, it's changing the way I view the world, and it's helping me to impact lives and families. And I want you to understand 3 primary concepts. Number 1, this is the #1 industry in the world, financial services. So you will be required to have a license, okay? Study, take a test, but it is required. Number 2, this industry, you're going to be learning the concepts of financial freedom, tax-free retirement, index universe. So you're going to learn about multiple carriers because you're going to be able to work with a brokerage firm with hundreds of carriers. So versus one independent carrier that only offers specific products and services, you'll be able to have a catalog of carriers that can offer a multitude of services to customize tailored portfolios of insurance and life insurance benefits for your clients and your families. Level number 3, because we are a brokerage firm and we work with carriers, our carriers have years of experience since 1908. What kind of carriers am I referring to? Well, we have carriers that we work with like AIG, Mutual of Omaha, and one of these partners that we just went through here, National Life Group. We also have carriers like Nationwide, who's on your side. Absolutely. We also have carriers like Lincoln National as well and Foresters. The point that I'm making is that we have top carriers that have been in the business for hundreds of years. So for you, a client, want to know if I should trust a place that I can put my money, where would you want to put your money? To a company who just got started, or a company that has a conglomerate of companies who's been in the business for hundreds of years? What would be a safer bet to put your money? Where would your money be best protected? In something that's new or something that's tested? We have 100 tested companies because we want to provide the best services to you, our community. So again, my name is Jason Miller. You know where to find me, Integrity Wealth Group. My number is here to reach me, 561-785-7972. I invite you to come down to my office Tuesday nights, 6030 Hollywood Boulevard, 7 p.m. I'd love to come for you to come early, 6:30. That would be actually great. But 7 p.m. we have a wealth and wine and wellness, okay? Where we go over wealth, wine, wisdom, where we share information, strategic information, what's happening in the industry right now, and we actually get a chance to break down what the movers and the shakers and how to position yourself at the same time. We also, on Saturday, we have our open house to the community where we take the time to break down the services and solutions that we provide to the community, and we invite you to come back out on a Saturday morning. If you can't make it on a Tuesday night at 7 p.m., dress business casual, of course. You can come out on a Saturday at 10 a.m., 9:30 sharp if you want to be prompt. And again, business casual. And again, we invite you to come out to learn more, partner to be able to forge new bonds in this industry, to be able to understand how you can learn more valuable content to create more capital gains, protect yourself, to have tax-free retirement, lifetime income for you, your family, and your entire generation. That's my time. My name again is Jason Miller. God bless. God's best. As always, Godspeed. Peace.